Kirby here with KJF-TravelAdventures, and we're at Universal Studios Orlando, and by we I mean me. Dana's home watching Christmas movies for Halloween Horror Nights 32. Let's go!
As this horror night begins!
The Chucky house. We do have express passes, but we're trying to get one or two done without them so we can do them again later. It's only a 20-minute wait. The Chucky house was good. I feel like the timing was off. We were like in between when all the scares were resetting. So we missed some of that, but it was still pretty good, and since we didn't use our express pass, we can go back later. But now the shortest line is 45 minutes or longer, so we're going to start using our express pass. House is Dr. Oddfellows, who's the sort of icon of this Halloween Horror Nights. The posted wait was 70, so we've started using our express pass. Since there's no one behind us, I'll keep talking. If you're only coming to Halloween Horror Nights for one night and you want to do and see it all, you need an express pass or an RIP tour. So just keep that in mind. All right, Dr. Oddfellows was really cool. If you're not a fan of clowns, you won't be a fan of that house. But Sarah made it, and she's not a fan of clowns. So now we're in line for the Darkest Deal, which was posted at 65. But we're still using our express, so we shouldn't have that long of a wait. Alright, so far that's my favorite house. That was the Darkest Deal. It has the best storyline so far, that you could actually like follow while walking through the house. It was cool. Alright, we're backtracking some to head back to the front, to the New York area, because we really want the food rations from the Last of Us food stand, so. Alright, we're in line to go to Sting Alley, which is where the Last of Us Fedra rations food cart is. The Stranger Things house, but I have this complaint every year, is I feel like Universal rushes you through the house. They want you to keep up with the party in front of you, but because you're standing in basically a giant conga line of people, you know where the scary people are popping out, right? Because they just did it to the party in front of you. So, and I feel like we missed, we walked through 2 whole rooms where there were no scare actors in it. So, I don't know. It was still cool. I think I've seen 1 episode of Stranger Things, so I can't comment on if it actually follows the show or not. If the new Exorcist movie is anything like this haunted house it was based on, it's gonna be scary AF. Like way scarier than the first one. so we're getting in line for Dueling Dragons, and which is based on the old ride at Universal that had a fire and an ice side. And the end of this house, you can pick the fire path or the ice path. So our hope is to come back later when the lines die down so we can go do the other side too. So Dueling Dragons is my favorite designed house so far. The Darkest Deal is still my favorite house, but that Dueling Dragons house, the costumes, the set design was so cool. So we're gonna have to go back later and try and do the other side. So we're heading to Yeti now. Was cool. He was creepy, the Yeti. And now we've walked over to Monsters. We walked around Diagon Alley a little bit to see the Death Eaters and got a couple more houses to do. The Monsters house was okay. I needed more delineation between monsters, I guess. It was good though.
My search for the legendary drawing skull of souls has led me here into the depths of this jungle. It is said that those who harness the power of the stone possess the ability to create new life.
Alright, the Dark Zodiac Scare Zone and then the Oddfellow Scare Zone so far have been my favorite. Just really neat design, and the characters were cool. we are in the line for Bloodmoon, and then we only have one more house, The Last of Us, after this. I am back for my final thoughts on Halloween Horror Nights after I slept a little, because we didn't get home till about 2 a.m. So, I said this during it, and it didn't change after we got through all the houses. My favorite house, hands down, was The Darkest Deal. It had the best storyline that you could follow walking through the house. I think we got the full effect of all the scares with the timing and all of that. Honorable mention goes to the Dueling Dragons house. We unfortunately only got through it once, and I'll talk about that in a bit because of how busy it was. But it was the design was so cool, and I said this in the video, right? The costumes for the scare actors was really cool, and it was nostalgic for me. I loved the Dueling Dragons coaster, so that was my honorable mention favorite house. The best scare zone, Dark Zodiac and the Jungle one. Again, right, best decor and interactions with the scare actors, and it was a big area, so they could sort of sneak up on you, but they also interacted with the camera when they saw I was filming. So we had fun in those scare zones. So we normally go to Halloween Horror Nights on the Sunday of Labor Day weekend. So that's opening weekend for Halloween Horror Nights on the Sunday of a holiday weekend. And we always get Express because it's the only way to do everything you want with Express, right? If you're only going to go for one night and you want to do it all, you either need an RIP tour or the Express Pass. Our plans didn't work to go Sunday of Labor Day this year, so we went the third Saturday in September. And I don't know if that's because I can't compare, right? Because a Saturday doesn't quite compare to the Sunday of Labor Day. I don't know if it was that it was Saturday, or that the draw from the Stranger Things and the Last of Us house was bigger than in previous years, but it was utter insanity. It was so busy. So we got there for opening. We were there in line before the gates opened. With the Express Pass, we did do all 10 houses and walk through the scare zones and get into Diagon Alley to see the Death Eaters, and we had 2 stops for food snacks, but we didn't see the show because we didn't have time, and we couldn't rest. We were bang, 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 house to house to house. Now, Express Pass was a lifesaver, but we waited 30 minutes for a couple of houses. Now, granted, the standby lines were 2 hours. When we walked in at 6:30, the Stranger Things house was posted at 180 minutes. So we did get all of the houses done. We got all the scare zones done, so which was our goal, right? Like, the show was sort of our last thing, but I can't compare to our previous experiences if the busy was that it was a Saturday or that it was because of the houses, but we barely got everything done. So if you're gonna, and you could go multiple nights, but even going multiple nights, if you don't have Express Pass, you're standing in a house line for 2 hours or 3 hours sometimes. So just keep that in mind. I mean, it was awesome, but we were surprised by the length of wait times for the houses and how busy it seemed. And because we didn't get to see the Megan dancing horde or David S. Pumpkins, which were offerings, but they weren't anywhere, they weren't publicized. So we knew that they both existed, but they don't tell you where they are or when they are on the map, which I get makes it fun and that there isn't a huge crowd waiting for them, but it's disappointing if that's really what you want to see or do, that you can't plan your sort of day or getting in lines around it. So we missed both of those things. I walked over 30,000 steps. I was walking basically from 6:15 when they opened the gates until we went back to our car at 1:15, because again, it was so busy. Normally we go and then we're like, okay, we're gonna sit and get a slushie and sit in the AC for 15-20 minutes and relax, and we didn't feel like we had time to do that because of how busy it was. Now again, we got all the houses done. We're gonna do it again next year. We go every year. It's really fun, and for us, I know if you enjoy being scared, but we really did enjoy ourselves. I was just surprised at how busier it felt this year in comparison to previous years. So
I'm Kirby from KJF-TravelAdventures. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you get notified when all of our new videos drop. Bye!